Creeping like Batman, stronger than the Hulk. Running to the bank, teller, dumping for the boat. On my town shit, Ben Affleck. Whole nigga, cuz most men just half step. Ride hard, motherfucker, and I ain't crashed yet. You don't know, or you do know. I'm like Mario Puzo with Cujo. You don't get it, I'm a prolific animal. Every verse flammable, weird like murder, thinking like Hannibal. Man like face, but I'm wild like BA. Bullets in your head when you talk to the DA. Talking to the judge, and I be in the cab, cause I think the car above. I don't play with hard luck. Killing your homeboy, now you call that hard love. Treat you like a blunt and I'm getting you sparked up. We don't play. We ain't no problem the worst way. We get your shot stabbed off for your birthday. Nigga, you ain't got to finish round here in the first place. Look at everybody chillin'. But fuck that, I'ma play the villain. Fuck that, I'm here to make a killing. All money's good money, weed, and this is filling. Small money, tall money, nigga, we want it all. Left hand on the whip, other hand on the drum. Lean on ice, pick through your right hand. Heart like a rock, hard to drop like Spider-Man. Park the green cars up, hop inside the rider van. Punch it like run for a couple $100, man. Drive with the street lord, knowledge of a college man. Almighty dollars get you dead, make your mama plan. Nothing like the smell of dope. I'ma make the commas dance, numbers jump, high, numb and drunk, in my drama stance. No fly zone, you don't get a city chance. Show back the show, make your hoes pitch in skinny pants. I'm with Sandy, so my haters can't stand me. Run the niggas over like Grammy. Motherfucker Grammy. Give me weed and eye candy. Coca-Cola daughter. Pussy from a very nice family. Won't last stepping in the street without the slammy. Cause outside the YO, niggas die. They don't play.
Hey, baby.
Yeah.
You know what's about to happen, right?
What? Chewy's going to the pound because he's naughty.
Hi, Chewy. Oh, wait, Michelle's watching one of these Desperates. Which one is this, baby?
Beverly Hills. I'll pause. I don't want to miss
the Brewer season's about to start?
Yeah, drunk drivers. I already know. You're gonna begin your drunk driving series.
No, well, that too. But I am gonna do a lot of that. But you know they're about to take advantage of Bob Uecker dying.
Oh, for sure. Bobbleheads, sweatshirts, t-shirts.
It's going to be Bob
Uecker Day.
Bob Uecker Night.
Yeah.
Bob Uecker Afternoon. And we ain't making fun of that shit, but we're saying they're about to. And keep in mind the Brewers are a struggling franchise financially.
Like from a marketing perspective.
And I'm not saying that they're sitting there saying, "Oh, we're gonna." I'm saying, but
now we can cash in. I don't think that's happening.
But they're going to be doing it.
Advantage of it for sure.
Why? It's going to be. There's going to be so many Bob Uecker themed nights, and it's like at some point, like, can you just let him rest in peace? That's all I'm saying. Like, because after a while, it's going to become noticeable. To me, I mean...
opening day, there's going to be a moment of silence. Opening day, there's going to be a moment of silence.
Oh, there'll be a moment of silence, definitely. And there should be.
Right, and then, like, that's it.
And let that man rest in peace. It's going to be Bob Uecker, Radio Night, Bob Uecker, Mr. Belvedere Night.
That was a good-ass show, though.
That was a good-ass show.
Was that his only sitcom?
I think so, and then he did the Major League movies.
Oh, yeah.
Fun fact, I'm sure there's other people that know that too, but which house, isn't there a house on Lake Drive that they used for Major League?
Yes.
Yep.
It's the one right before the final turn before Silver Spring starts.
That's right, yep.
It looks, it's like a Spanish style.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love Spanish style houses too.
My dad's reunited with his sister, and she flew in from Arizona. We picked her up at the airport. My dad pulled into that driveway.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and like turned off the car, turned off the lights, and she was like, "What?" And he started, like, getting out of the car. And then she was like, no, I'm just kidding.
Oh, wow, that's crazy as hell.
He was like, we're like 30 blocks west.
Yeah, that's crazy, y'all. Hi, Charlie. Did Charlie had dinner, right?
Yeah, no, I'm just letting him sleep.
Okay. He's up and about now. All right, it's game time, y'all.
Yeah. We the illest, the realest, to touch these mics. If they feel us, they feel us. If not, then it's fuck they life. Get it live like Saturday night. They don't recognize a prophet, but a passerby mic. Niggas after my light, I shine that bright. That I fat while I was sitting on back like Frank White, nigga. In the booth, off the dome like my name was Jigger. In the booth, getting dome, nigga, I'm that nigga. I'm a quarter in now, niggas giving intel. That's the shit I disavow, that don't even sit well. Good niggas sitting down, cause them bitch niggas snitching. This is shit that's going round. Got a clip full of cures, tell on us, then it's yours. For sure, for sure. Had to cut some niggas off, they ain't even have balls. They was pushing to the core. Smoking, catching a flashback. Probably looked at my cash app. Remember filling the job app. Now I'm at the head of the table with a mob at. Connected like Wi-Fi. Colorful life, it's the hippie without the tie-dye. Say hello to the bad guy. Old school, I'm mad high. Gun in the cab ride. Play the top of the high rise. Letting the bag fly. Ever cross me, then I'm letting the mag fly. Remember I ain't have shit creating the havoc. Now I'm living golden, creating the havoc. If you like the rhyme, you relate in the magic. Sad thing about it, I relate to the savage. Yeah.
Peace and blessings, y'all. So I was listening to this conversation, right? And they were talking about what the Democratic Party's doing or what they're not doing, like basically saying like how there's not a leader, you know what I mean? No one's getting out in front and speaking out against, you know, all the bullshit that Trump and his people are doing and Elon Musk and all them, right? And I agree, you know what I mean? That it's a lot of bullshit going on. But here's my thing. The elephant in the room is that no matter whoever this leader is that we want to put out there as Democrats, for one, what are they going to run on? That was what the election was for, y'all. That's why this election was so damn important. The one that we just lost. That's why people are so fatigued and upset and pissed off. Because we spent, and I'm going to include myself, we spent a lot of time, Michelle and I did as well on our podcast. We spent a lot of time and energy and effort into, you know, reading information, you know, talking about stuff, giving examples about stuff and all that kind of stuff. And you know what I mean? And obviously we don't know if any of the stuff worked, you know, that we said to people, but I'm just saying, like, the results are, you know, that the country, you know, didn't want to hear what we had to say for some reason. And like all the things that we're trying to tell people, you know, we're trying to tell people, don't support Trump. Don't vote for him. Don't do this. Don't do that. All the stuff that they're doing is in Project 2025, which nobody wanted to read. Not nobody, but a lot of people didn't want to read. But people that sit there and scroll through their phones until they fall asleep. We didn't want a. I'm saying we. You know what I'm saying? It's just a saying. We didn't want a woman. Didn't want Hillary. Didn't want Kamala. She wasn't black enough. She wasn't quite black enough. She was this or she was that. She didn't say what she was going to do for black and brown people quick enough. And then when she did say what she was going to do for black people, some of us didn't believe it, or we didn't think it would be possible, or all this other shit. You know what I mean? So my point is, too, like, what candidate, what Democratic leader or candidate could you put up there right now that's going to be able to speak our language Because I know what I want in a Democratic leader. I want them to go up there and say, and I was saying it before the election, they need to get up there and just say, fuck this shit. And just say what they're going to do. Say that you're going to help the poor. Say that you're going to help poor black people. Say that you're going to help poor Latin people. Say that you're going to help poor Asian and poor white people. Say that shit. Because that's one of the things, too. That's another one of the elephants in the room. The majority of white people, I said the majority, I didn't say all. And y'all know I say a majority can be 51%. The majority of white people don't want to hear no candidate. And it's always going to be a Democratic candidate because no Republican candidate is going to talk about helping anyone poor, helping anyone at any time. So you don't even have to worry about that. Republicans don't want to have nothing to do with nothing black or poor or nothing at all. But I'm saying whatever Democratic candidate, they ain't going to be able to say that they're going to help poor people because most white people don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that. And as a candidate, you got to worry about running off the white voters because they're the majority of the voters in this country. You see what I mean? Barack couldn't even do that. Our first black president. He couldn't. You never heard Barack up there while he was campaigning, while he was running for president, both times. While he was president, you didn't hear dudes saying none of that about how specifically, I'm going to do this for black people. I'm going to do this for poor black people and poor and this and this and that. He might have to use specific other little words to not say those words because it offend a lot of white people. You know, you need them to win elections, unfortunately. You know what I'm saying? He couldn't even do that. So that's what I'm saying. What candidate will be able to get up there and do that? Because people don't want to hear that in totality. Because they look, anytime you talk about helping somebody poor or black or brown or whatever, white people look at that as a handout. And they get all upset and shit. Oh, they're going to give my taxes. Blah, blah, blah. You know how they start talking and shit. When in reality, welfare was created for white people, by white people. So that's my thing. So like what Democratic leader or whoever we are gonna put up there, what foot they don't have a foot to stand on, no power, and what are they gonna run on? Because the stuff that you would need to speak about in totality, because then we're saying like, oh, you need to speak up for they can't speak up for everyone. They can't speak up for 100% of everyone. Why do you think they say those words like, you ever notice, I'm smoking a cigarette, you ever notice when you hear a Democrat running there, they always say words like, we want to do this for everyone. So like everyone of all background, of all, and that's what they mean. Like that's another way of just not saying black people. Because white people don't want to hear that shit. Y'all know what I'm saying? So that's the issue. So really, you know what I'm saying? Really, like, we got to do it, by laws and stuff. Like, laws and stuff, like, stuff truly isn't going to change for black and brown people in totality, like, legally and law, as far as laws and stuff go, until you have mostly black and brown lawmakers in there. That's just simple math. Because you got to have people in there that think like you, or at least understand you. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how white people rule and make laws and stuff. They have their white counterparts in mind. They're not thinking about black and brown people when they're making and creating laws. They're making them to fuck us over. You see what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. Like, and that's why this election was so frustrating, because of the times we're in and just how heightened, like, the racism was just out there, just front and center too, and just all this shit. And we were trying to fight against that, and it's just like it didn't work. So that's the other part of it too. People are like, God damn, if the racism wasn't, you know what I mean? It was sticking out like a sore thumb, and we still couldn't, win the election. And that's the other part of it. People are like, God damn, man, this didn't even work. I can't think of a president, of a candidate that has ran basically on racism, pure racism. I mean, just stone cold racism like Trump has. And dude keeps winning and shit. So, but yeah, that's really the main thing. So, like, this leader that we want as a Democrat, like, what foot do they have to stand on? They ain't going to be able to truly be genuine and just really speak to who they truly want to help and need to help and all that shit. Because white people, like I said, in totality, don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear it. And they're in control of most situations. That's the damn problem. When you just stop, like, beating around the bush and shit, that's the problem. It's parole time, y'all. See if they let this predator out, this pedophile, rapist dude. He's in front of parole board. Let's listen to this nonsense. He should never get out. Let's listen what he's talking about. I listened to a few seconds of it earlier. He was crying about how people, you know what I'm saying, like, give him a hard time and shit and fuck with him. Well, you shouldn't be, you know what I'm saying, raping and molesting kids and stuff. Don't do that shit. You ain't got to worry about that stuff. You know what I mean? Don't go to prison. Don't make those kind of horrible choices. Leave people's kids alone.
In this environment, if you're pushed around, bullied, people take your stuff, and you're fair game. You're just a mouse in a cat's cage. Well, I don't agree to that, and there's been a couple times I've gotten into altercations because I was called a sex offender. Yes, I'm a sex offender.
So this dude's name is Frank Schneider. This is out of Utah, y'all. Just to give y'all a little background on it. You know what I mean? And dude's been, basically, he's been a sexual predator since 1977, y'all. Alright, let's listen into a little more. Oh, and by the way, he's in for aggravated kidnapping and shit. For, you know, right now, this charge that he's up on for parole on. But he's got a whole list of, like, sexual predator type shit. Y'all can look his name up. I just told y'all can rewind it or whatever. Alright, y'all. Back to the episode.
This is the time and place set for a rehearing for Frank Schneider, inmate 6'3".
Yes.
I'm Kathleen. I'm a hearing officer with the Board of Pardons and Parole. I'll be conducting your hearing today. Because I'll be taking testimony from you, I'm going to have you raise your right hand for me so I can place you under oath. Do you swear and affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you, Kate. So the last hearing that you had, the board wanted you to complete a relapse prevention program, correct?
No, the board stipulated they wanted me to complete a sex maintenance course.
Which is the relapse prevention thing.
Well, I wasn't
part of sex offender but they had mentioned, so we got a report back from sex offender programming stating that they were not recommending that because it is for relapse and you have not relapsed, basically. So they were recommending that you not participate in that or do that. So I did hear that and listen to that information. So a lot of this, with it only being a year, may not have changed in regard to what your plans are, things like that. But it did state that you had completed the sex offender programming, which was also discussed during your last hearing, on your own terms, basically. You weren't ordered to do it because you had been given an expirated life sentence, but that you wanted to complete that. One thing I do show that's more updated is the fact that you have had a couple of disciplinaries since that last hearing. Can you tell me a little bit about those?
Well, the first one was a gentleman. I lived in a cubicle with 4 people.
Somebody probably beat the shit out of him.
With another gentleman in the cubicle, and there was names yelled back and forth, and One of them got up and left, and the other one kept yelling and calling names, and I told him, why don't you just be quiet? He left. So he called me a bitch and then waved an object in front of my face, which later I found out was a ruler. So I pushed him back because I didn't know what he was going to do.
Okay.
The second one was an older gentleman asked a young man if he would please put a laundry bag on someone's bed. And he said, quote unquote, fuck no, I didn't put anything in, I ain't doing nothing for you. So I called him disrespectful, and then he called me a bitch, and then so I pushed him, and I went up and told staff what had happened. I did it so the other gentleman wouldn't get around.
Dudes in there telling on people and shit too.
Right up myself.
Okay. What don't you agree with in the psychological?
Well, you know, I've been on a lot of psych meds, and that's one of the things that one of the psychologists was poking me with a stick, because I've been on Haldol, Arcane, Mellaril, Benadryl.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about your offense that you've had in regard to moving forward. So you've completed the sex offender programming. While this offense happened 30 years ago, roughly, you had a prior offense as well.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about, because when you had that prior offense, was it back in 1977?
Yes.
When you went to prison then, did they have sex offender programming?
They did. I was removed for dirty urine.
Okay. Did you ever complete sex offender programming for that offense?
No.
Okay. How far did you get into the programming before you were removed?
Probably about 4 months.
Excuse me.
I don't know if you got the bug that I got.
Is there anything that you feel like would prevent you from being able to have a successful parole?
Probably if I stopped taking my medication.
Okay. So basically your own self could get in the way.
Yes.
So it sounds
I
like.
know that I got to take it the rest of my life. There's no getting around it.
Is there anything that would prevent you from taking it? Is there any reason you could foresee for not taking it?
No.
Okay.
Not unless it was due to financial costs, but I think I'll be on Medicaid and Medicare or something. That was like 3.5, 4 months after.
Okay. Well, we have all of that information now, so that'll be taken into consideration when the board makes
She cut dude's bitch ass off like it's time.
So, at this point, you're well aware of how all this works. You've had a few different hearings in the last few years going through this whole process of this redetermination and everything. So what I plan on doing is taking this information that we discussed today, compiling in that to a report and submitting that to the board. You're well aware it's totally up to them on what they choose to do moving forward. Usually takes about 2 to 4 weeks.
So basically, they gave dude a 2-year defer. That means he'll go back in front of the parole board in 2 more years, and then they'll decide what they want to do with him. Yeah, that one was out of Utah. Hopefully he never gets out. Yeah, dude's name was Frank D. Schneider. Y'all want to go do some digging on that and, look him up. Yep. He has aggravated kidnapping, 1st-degree felony. His sentence was 15 years. 15 to 100 years. Damn. Dude's MR, that means his mandatory release date is August 5th, 2092. Yeah. Think you got problems? Dude's got problems. All right, y'all, back to the episode. I'm just watching these games. I just wanted to get this information out. It's crime time, and this is DVJ reporting. No, I'm just playing, but all right, y'all. We're almost at the weekend, though, y'all, and enjoy March Madness. I'm getting excited for tomorrow. Listening to Chewy's out here giving Michelle a hard time. Running around all crazy. Listen to him. Chewy's our 1-year-old pug, by the way, for new listeners. Forget it. He stopped barking and running around as soon as I wanted to capture the recording. All right, y'all, back to the episode.
The Trump administration cancels programs that paid Wisconsin farmers to grow for food pantries. The Wisconsin Local Food Purchase Assistance Program, which paid farmers to provide food to local food banks, has been terminated by the USDA. Proponents of the program highlight its benefits for both farmers and food insecure residents. The USDA stated the program no longer aligns with its priorities, an oblique reference to President Trump's promise to slash the government. The Wisconsin Local Food Purchase Assistance Program was part of a nationwide effort to support local farmers, feed under-resourced communities, and make the local food supply chain more resilient. Close to 300 Wisconsin farms participated in the program during last year's growing season, sending $4.2 million worth of food to more than 250 pantries and schools. The USDA canceled the program March 7th, saying it no longer effectuates agency priorities. At Wisconsin food pantries, where need is growing, clients will no longer be able to access farm fresh food through the program. Participating farmers will lose that income from their bottom line. Over the past 2 years, Christy Allen sent around 3,000 pounds of honey to the St. Croix Valley Food Bank in northwestern Wisconsin. Allen runs the Bee's Knees in Burnett County, where she sells honey and bees and teaches beekeeping classes. She participated in the Wisconsin Local Food Purchase Assistance Program, which paid Wisconsin farmers to produce food for local pantries and other organizations working to combat hunger. Without the program, she said, she couldn't have afforded to give that much honey to a food bank. She was paid $25,000 the first year and $15,000 the second year to do so. It wasn't just a financial win, it was a gratifying one too. She got a handwritten note from a woman across the state who had received her honey and wanted to express gratitude for Allen's hard work. On March 7th, the USDA terminated the program, which was part of a nationwide effort to support local farmers, feed under-resourced communities, and increase the resiliency of the food supply chain. In the letter canceling the program, the USDA Deputy Administrator Jack Tuckwiller wrote that it no longer effectuates agency priorities. During the 23-24 growing season, 289 Wisconsin farms participated in the program, providing $4.2 million worth of food to more than 250 pantries and schools, according to the news release about the termination of the Wisconsin Farmers Union, which was a program partner. Using the money from the program, Allen was able to hire a part-time employee to help her with the physically demanding work of beekeeping. With that income now disappearing, she's unsure if she can keep that person on. This idea that there's waste, fraud, and abuse, there was no evidence of that, she said, referring to President Donald Trump's push to drastically reduce the size and reach of the federal government. Having a dependable market that supports a healthy society seems like a no-brainer to me, she said. The program was seen as a win-win by those who used it. Visitors to food pantries got fresh, nutritious food, and farmers got a stable source of cash to help meet their bottom line. Some of the Wisconsin major food banks, like Feeding Wisconsin and Milwaukee's Hunger Task Force, participated, supplying the fresh food to their own networks of pantries. Jackie Anderson, executive director of Feeding Wisconsin, said in the news release that the elimination of the program was especially disheartening during a time of significantly increased need for food banks. More than 617,000 Wisconsin residents are food insecure, according to Feeding America. The food pantry at Stepping Stones of Dunn County used the program to provide about 50,000 pounds of food to its clients, said the food pantry manager Angie Wolf, including apples, lettuce, corn, radishes, beets, and fresh beef and pork. Like the statewide hunger statistics, need for its service has increased. The pantry feeds more than 11% of Dunn County, which is one of the poorest counties in Wisconsin, and largely rural. Oh, that word is so hard to say.
I know I can't
The
say
benefits of being able to provide its clients with fresh, healthy food was enormous, Wolf said, and being able to pay local farmers for their work was meaningful. If the pantry can afford to continue that going forward, she said, it will be at a much smaller scale. To build this program up and then take it away has been pretty devastating. Besides financial support for farmers, the program also taught them about how to expand to bigger markets. Tenzin Botsford, who runs Red Door Family Farms in Athens, a small village near Wausau. He used the program to scale up his farm's operations and ensure a steady supply of peppers, tomatoes, cilantro, carrots, and other vegetables to the United Way of Marathon County's Hunger Coalition, including culturally important foods for the area's Hmong and Hispanic population. When Botsford received word that the program had been canceled, he had already bought seeds and started to plant. The loss will put a significant dent in his income, he said. Almost 40% of the producers picked to receive funding last year were Black, Indigenous, and other people of color. More than half were new or beginning farmers.
Damn, that's
and
racist.
42% of the farms are women-owned.
See, that's sexist too. See?
It was in part aimed to give historically marginalized groups a leg up in the world of agriculture, which means overwhelmingly white and male, which remains overwhelmingly white and male. The money for the program was set to be used up in June, but advocates were hoping it wouldn't be the end of the road. Responding to the termination, Governor Tony Evers, he's the governor of Wisconsin, said the Trump administration was turning their backs on America's dairy land and betraying our farmers. And most of those farmers voted for him, by the way. USDA said that the program's current contracts can be finished and that they will be canceled after that. It's unconscionable to me to drop the ball that hard for people who are living on such thin margins, Botsford said. It breaks my heart, and it really makes me wonder how much pain is going to end up being caused by trying to do politics this way. The end.
Yep.
And you know what's sad is that a lot of people live in maybe apartments or whatever, and they don't have an area to grow. And they certainly don't have a big enough area to grow enough to feed their own family, you know. But there are community gardens which are either free or very inexpensive. I know they have some around town in the city, and they're maybe it's maybe $10 or $20 for the season, and you get a garden box for your family. So, and I believe they had programs that provided the seedlings and everything, but so maybe you'll see an uptick in more community gardens.
Because we do have some in the city. I wish they'd see more of that.
They do have some at the end of the Oak Leaf Trail in Glendale.
Oh, yeah, they do.
There's maybe 20 of them. It's for the city of Glendale.
They have that one, too, when you're coming around
North
that bend
Avenue.
on North Avenue. Yep.
And they have a bunch in River West. I know they have them, what is that, maybe 6th and Cherry. There's one that's called Alice's Garden. Those, I don't think they get any federal funding. That's all volunteer.
Yep.
So
and then younger people get to learn how to, do that kind of stuff.
Well, and then they also have programs where they teach youth how to garden and everything. And so hopefully those programs will stay in place. And maybe you'll end up seeing more of it.
The sounds of Milwaukee. But you got to keep in mind, whenever you hear sirens, that don't mean it's the police. That could be the police, ambulance, you know what I mean, fire truck, all that shit. But no matter how you look at it, that means someone's in need of help. Right, baby? Anytime there's an ambulance, Even if you hear one of them sirens, it don't matter if it's a police, fire truck, or the ambulance. Someone's in need of assistance, which is a negative thing.
Right.
I'm about to take Charlie out.
No, I'm just putting my slippers on.
Oh, okay. Chewy, leave your brother alone. I hear you running around out there like a madman.
Yes, he's going like crazy. And poor Charlie's just like, I'm like my last.
Watching the Detroit-Miami game on right now. March Madness tomorrow. Michelle took Florida to win the whole thing. I took UCLA. Here, I got you, baby. I'll help you.
I'm just trying to.
You want to get that cord out of there?
Oh, got it. It needs to be clean. Oh, I'm so happy with my wine and my chick TV.
Which Desperate are you watching, baby?
I finished Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Damn, how many cities do they got?
Like 6. Shockingly, I don't watch them all.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Some of them are a little too corny.
No, I just.
Has anyone ever really fought on there though?
I just run out of time.
Or do they just throw wine at each other?
The white women throw wine.
And flip tables.
The Italian women flip tables. And the
black women probably throw hands.
Black women throw hands.
Yep.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Chewy. Get out the fridge, Chewy.
they
You want a snack, bro? Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right, y'all. Back to the episode.
Just had to clean the carpet.
Around the defense,
are like, the nosebleeds.
The poor whites?
The poor whites and the rest of America that can't afford $500 tickets are all up here. You can't see them.
We're watching the Oklahoma City Thunder game and the Philly game. They're in OKC. And it's just a sea of white fans.
Because do you ever notice, like, when they show, like the concession areas, you see tons of black people.
Right.
But you don't see them during the game.
Not in OKC, though. They're in Oklahoma City.
Oh.
Think about how it is. Just if you just really think about it, almost every fan sitting in that stand right now is black. Look. And it's just crazy when you think about it because it's all black ball players playing right now for that city. And you got all these white people cheering and rooting and clapping. Watch, when they score, they're going to cheer. Watch. Look, now, any other time, if they were to see a dude out in public and they didn't know he was on the team,
they'd call the cops.
He would just be some black dude.
But if you
black dude with dreads.
A stereotype, though, if you were to watch the first 48, you would think Oklahoma City or Tulsa is all black.
They go right to the hood. That's another bullshit. That's some more racism. Good one, baby. Pointing that out. They went right but there's decisions that go into that, right? Because when they chose that state to do the first 48.
They asked Cavalier and he said no.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Because he didn't want the city to get like a bad image.
Yeah.
Which I think was a good decision. Like, they pay you.
I haven't really thought about how I felt about that. I do remember it when that happened.
You do get money. You get compensation for them filming. So that would have brought in some revenue, but it would make the city look like just some poor black area.
Exactly, right? And people start believing that shit. And but that's crazy. Yeah, so what is it, Tulsa?
And there's tons of white people that live in the ghetto too. And when I say ghetto, I'm just saying a poor area.
They're around.
They're not even sprinkled in anymore. They're around.
And you know what too? I saw a report. Remember we were talking about how there's going to be a lot of more people living in their cars and shit?
Oh, yeah.
There was a report.
There's a lot of white people
living in their vehicles.
That have jobs.
And they
They
just don't
can't
have.
afford rent.
They go to work and
Or
then they
they
live in their van or car
they
or
have
whatever.
like a poor rental history and they just can't find a place.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
places
Yeah.
are, if you have a criminal record, they don't want to rent to you.
Any evictions, any criminal records, they're real tight-lipped with that shit right now.
Right.
It's been like that for some years.
Like here, they run criminal checks on
Mm-hmm.
people.
That's
what
one of
she
the
had
first
told me.
fucking things they do.
That's what she had told me because she didn't want like issues
feel
in
the
the building,
right.
and then other people complain, and she didn't want that.
That's crazy, and
So
that's
the
fucked up.
requirement of the company.
And see, and that's bullshit in a way, because where is somebody that
Supposed to live.
goes to prison, gets out of prison, you're supposed to get your life together, which requires having somewhere to live, and being stable and all that. And then you got all these landlords that won't rent to you
Now,
because you're a convicted
they
felon.
have programs for getting when people get out. You have like a program that they link you up with landlords that'll take that.
No, they don't.
Oh.
Shit.
Well,
hell
they give
no.
you a list, but where are those? But where are those apartments?
And that's the thing; they don't
In
want to
the
fuck with nobody,
shittiest
and they'll be
neighborhoods.
throwing you right. Yep.
So they're putting you right back in the elements that maybe got you to prison.
Or help out.
I mean, it certainly can't help,
Right.
right?
Yeah. I'm saying it helped you, like, the negative stuff that you were
Right.
doing
And
help land you in prison.
And being in a blighted neighborhood, that's depressing.
Ain't no jobs around there either.
No jobs, so you're relying on a bus line if you don't have a car.
And even if you were to take one of them kind of jobs in the city, like where like you can't live off no gas station wage or no.
No, not with
That's
rents, and they require 3 times
What you made.
what you made.
Yep. 3 times.
You have to have 3 times the rent.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
3 times what the rent
3
is.
times the rent. So, like, to live here,
That ain't
you
even.
you have to bring in, like, for this rent is $1,500.
So that's
So
45.
I have to bring
That's
in
45.
3 times the rent.
That's 45.
And a lot of people, that's why Joe's renting a house.
Yeah.
Because he couldn't find a place that he made enough to pay rent, obviously, because he's paying the mortgage, but you don't qualify.
Exactly.
He'd have to get an apartment that's like $700 a month.
That ain't gonna be nothing good.
No.
Yeah.
So it's just, like the first 48, just like, I think they only go to those, they only have like those couple cities like Tulsa, Dallas, and Miami. Because those places said fine, but they probably reached out to a lot of communities that were just like, you're going to make us look bad.